One moment I was adjusting her armor. The next, she called me her mate, and the whole room cheered. It started like every other deployment day. Loud, chaotic, and full of last-minute checks before drop launch. I was just a human mechanic. An armor tech, really. I made sure the soldiers, especially the alien warriors, didn't die because of a loose seal or a faulty neural link. I wasn't special. I didn't carry a gun. But I was good with my hands, and that's why Commander Valari always asked for me. Valari of House Kelt, the elite of the elite. 9 feet tall, crimson-skinned, horned. Her armor was the only thing more intimidating than her glare. And somehow, despite all that, she always greeted me with the faintest smirk. That day, she towered in front of me with her usual calm. Adjustment, shoulder plates. They pinched during the last skirmish. Yes, Commander. I replied automatically, already reaching for the calibration tool. I stepped behind her, activating the magnetic seal as I adjusted the armor panels. Her back was warm even through the alloy. The curved shoulder plates shifted with a hiss. Too tight. I asked. No. You have gentle hands, she said. I paused. That was not a typical warrior response. The other soldiers nearby, human and alien alike, slowed their steps, glancing toward us. I tried to stay professional, just doing my job. Your job is vital, she said. Then louder, and you are mine. My hand froze mid-adjustment. Sorry, what? She turned her head slightly, her golden eyes locked onto mine. I claim you as mate. There was silence, a deep, heavy silence. Then the room erupted. Alien warriors let out howls of celebration. Someone banged a drum. A human soldier dropped his tools in shock. Cheers rose like a tidal wave, laughter mixing with war cries. A chant even started, half in alien tongue, half in English. Mate, mate, mate. I stood there, still gripping her armor plate, absolutely stunned. Commander, are you serious? She turned fully now, towering over me. Do I appear one to joke? She said. I gulped. I just thought, don't your people have, ceremonies? Rites. She nodded solemnly. You have just performed the first rite. Touching armor in battle readiness is a sacred act. Intimate. Binding. I was fixing your shoulder joint. To us, that is affection. I blinked. This feels like a huge misunderstanding. No, she said with absolute certainty. This feels like fate. Later, in the break chamber, I was still dazed. A cup of thick Zarathi brew steamed in my hand. I wasn't sure if it was a drink or motor oil. Congratulations, said Koss, a fellow tech. You're the most envied man on the station. I didn't do anything. You touched the commander's armor. That's practically a wedding where they're from. I slumped. I was just doing my job. And now you're her mate. Ever thought about that kind of upgrade? I wasn't sure what to feel. Valari wasn't cruel or cold. Actually, she was surprisingly considerate. But the idea of being claimed like a ceremonial trophy, I didn't even get to ask her out. Then again, she asked in her own way, didn't she? The next day, she found me again, this time in the hangar bay. I was alone, checking hydraulic seals. She approached with slow, deliberate steps. You're avoiding me. I'm thinking. I said honestly. She nodded. That is wise. Choosing a mate must not be rushed. I blinked. Wait, I get to choose? She tilted her head. Of course. You are not property. You are valued. If you do not accept, I will not pursue. I looked up at her, heart thudding. Why me? Because you treat me as a person, not a title. Because you are calm in chaos. Because when you Touch my armor. It feels like more than metal. I didn't know what to say. Her eyes were sincere. Fierce, yes, but sincere. What happens if I say yes? Then we complete the rite. Together. Publicly. I will bring the ceremonial blade. You will bring a gift of choice. Can the gift be something simple? She smiled. Simplicity is beautiful. That night, I stayed up crafting something. Not a weapon, not jewelry, but a small token, a carved metal piece, shaped like her shoulder plate, but miniaturized, polished, perfect, warm to the touch. I set it in a silk cloth, unsure if this was madness. The next day, she met me in the gathering hall. Hundreds stood around us. Humans, Zarathi, cameras, applause. She drew her ceremonial blade and placed it across both palms. I stepped forward, placed a token into her hand. She examined it silently. Then, her eyes lit up, not with fire, but with something softer, a warmth I'd never seen. She turned to the crowd. He has accepted. The roar was deafening. I barely had time to think before she pulled me close. Her massive hand cupped the back of my head and pressed her forehead to mine. Alien custom, sealing the bond. And as the crowd chanted again, voices united. Mate, mate, mate. I smiled because somehow this felt right.